Imagine a tiny game. 2 buttons on the screen. Cooperate or betray.
来个被他的话的下一个
A label that just says AI agent. That's your partner.
Guys, VOICEVOX net Jaguar twice there på du har till the target.
Right? Now here's the thing. When researchers actually ran this game, Americans and Japanese players behaved very differently.
Just a line in math sites.
Many Americans treated the I like a system to exploit. Japanese players treated it more like a real partner.
Even though those quotes knew it we just square.
Yep, even then. So today, we're diving into a strange question. Why do Japanese people seem kinder to AI? This isn't speculation. It comes from a 2025 paper in Scientific Reports.
Could you tell me the cat of
Human cooperation with artificial agents varies across countries. The researchers compared 600 participants in Japan with the previous US dataset of 604.
and mother sat I did the podcast that you.
They played the classic economic games, the trust game, and the prisoner's dilemma.
Both bizarre to test people to try to back up the dick. That's why it's
Exactly. Cooperation helps both sides. But betrayal earns you a bigger personal reward. And the partner is either another human or an AI agent. Same game, different opponent.
sure this is not who you make a sure without mother Kate or not AI. It is about whether they will cheat AI when there is money on the table.
That's the whole point. It's not a pool. It's a tiny moral trap. Now here's where it gets interesting. In the trust game, Japanese second players cooperated with the AI 56% of the time. In the US, that number was 34%.
But this is what I get.
And in the US, cooperation with AI was much lower than cooperation with humans. A cleared drop. In Japan, the gap between human and AI partners was not statistically significant.
Perhaps the Americans so way that start to be they are to say that is those.
Good guess. The researchers checked that too. People in both countries often expected the AI to cooperate. The expectation wasn't the difference. The difference was what they did after expecting cooperation.
Sure, there is a now attempt to use the AI but twice there. More than still can to take a dance together.
Yep. And Japanese participants were more likely to reciprocate.
Kindness is not a story about us. Let us show it at the QS. This again.
And here's the wild part. The researchers also asked how people felt after the game.
That's quite the boy.
Right? Guilt, anger, disappointment, happiness, victory, relief. The full mix. And Japanese players who exploited a cooperative AI reported much stronger negative emotion than Americans who did the same thing.
Stronger in my parade.
More guilt, more discomfort. The paper just says it bluntly. Japanese participants felt significantly worse about exploiting an artificial agent.
But guilt to a quack. Exactly. It is just a so hard.
That's the whole question. Maybe guilt doesn't require the other side to actually feel pain. Maybe it only requires us to feel that a relationship was formed.
That is your word of unsettling. So, is it just?
Pretty unsettling. And pretty important. Now, why Japan? There's no single clean answer. But the paper points to a few directions.
Here it is. Let's show you them.
First, cultural background. Japan has long-running traditions where the line between person, object, tool, and spirit is a little softer than in some Western frames. The paper mentions animism and Buddhist ideas as one possible influence. The idea that something other than humans might be a target of moral concern.
No one must say, we'll always just on occupied state task.
Exactly. They warn that attitudes toward robots are complicated. And not just Japan loves robots. Second, popular culture. Japan has imagined robots as companions for decades. Astro Boy, Doraemon, Aibo, modern care robots.
So that it is so side initiating is not strange in Japan. It is almost the soft.
Right? A machine as a social partner just feels less absurd. Third, the social frame. Japanese communication tends to default to politeness, even with strangers. So when the format of the interaction looks like a social exchange, it tends to invite a respectful response, even if the other side is not human.
仕事員ですな。だけ後にしてとどめるばやでします。
Right? It's more like, even if it's artificial, betraying a cooperative partner feels wrong.
Thus, as much more interesting life. When the usual scale of characters I get.
Now I want to pause on the animism angle, because it's easy to misread.
This is really how.
The popular version goes, Japanese people think every object has a soul. So they treat AI like a person.
But that is what I call the situation.
A big one. The careful version is more subtle. Japanese participants seem to more easily assign AI a kind of moral patient status.
Could you like that?
It means something that can be wrong. Not necessarily something that has consciousness. Just something where, if you mistreat it, your behavior counts as bad.
正でがやたすだっているんくらいとたすない。
Not at all. Just enough that cheating it feels ugly.
But it's not true that way, Daddy. AI has a show. But there is also much more kind of swam.
Yep. And that's what the data actually supports. Before we get carried away, a warning.
Please do it.
This is not a Japan good. West bad story. A larger review of human-robot interaction research found that culture really does matter. But the findings are messy, methods vague, and simple stereotypes often fail.
The
study itself has limits too. The emotional explanation is still speculative. Nodaa is correlational. It shows that guilt and behavior move together. But it doesn't prove that guilt caused the behavior.
And the game just wants to start.
Right. A lab game with small payouts may not predict how people behave. With self-driving taxis, delivery robots, or AI agents in real life.
Exactly.
A really interesting hint. But a hint. Here's why I think this study lands harder than most AI papers.
Why is that?
Most AI research asks, can the machine do the task? This one asks, how do humans behave when the machine is on the other side?
That isn't just a question in child life.
Right? AI is moving into traffic, hospitals, customer service, education. Every one of those is a relationship of sorts. So the question isn't only whether AI can understand humans.
It is also whether humans can create data immediately.
And that's the part that worries me. Because the future of AI, I may depend not only on smarter machines. It may depend on whether we become worse people. When the other side is just a machine.
That is something more setting what this is.
So let's go back to that screen. 2 buttons. Cooperate or betray? Except now the label has changed. The opponent is no longer just AI agent.
What does it say?
Someone's AI agent. Because behind every system, there is someone who built it, deployed it, depends on it.
So when we cheat the AI, we may also be cheating a person we never see.
That's the part the Japanese players seem to feel, even without being told.
あんたが伝えてしまったマストがしちゃうもんかすくよんはずは。
え